Hello everyone and welcome to Asthma UK's latest health and wellbeing webinar. For this series of webinars, we've reached out far and wide to find experts who've kindly volunteered their time, and their aim is to help us to help you, the Asthma UK community, to keep your mind, body and soul active during these uncertain times. To help you get the most out of today's session, please make sure you're watching on a device you can easily see and hear, such as a laptop, a tablet or a mobile phone. Today I'm delighted to welcome back Jo Hatherley, who was so happy with how her recent Pilates session was received by you all that she's kindly volunteered to do another webinar for us all today. Like many of you, Jo has a personal connection to Asthma UK as she has asthma herself. Jo's a qualified Pilates teacher and has lots of experience working with clients who have respiratory conditions. Today, she's really tried to tailor the session for everyone with asthma, so hopefully all of you will be able to join in. That said, if you do have asthma and you're planning to take part in today's session, please do ensure you keep your reliever inhaler close by and take things at your own pace. And do remember, if you have asthma, do not stop taking your preventer inhaler as prescribed, even if you think something like Pilates is doing your asthma good. We really hope that everyone who attends these sessions finds them useful. And if you've missed any of our previous webinars, you can now find them all at asthma.org.uk/webinars. Alternatively, you can visit Asthma UK's YouTube channel. Whether you or a loved one has asthma, we have some great ways for you to stay up to date with everything asthma related. If you don't already do so, please follow Asthma UK on Facebook or Twitter, or join the ever-growing community of people who regularly read our emails by signing up to receive our email updates. Now, as always, before we go any further, there are a few house rules. Please be aware that today's webinar has been pre-recorded. However, we do have a chat function enabled, and we'd love you to say hello or post any hints and tips that you want to share, and do let us know any ideas you have about future health and wellbeing webinars you'd like to see from us. Remember though, this is a family-friendly environment, so when chatting, do please be nice. The chat is of course moderated, but if you have any medical questions, please be aware our moderators are unable to answer these as they have no medical training. Also, don't worry if you miss anything today either, because you'll receive an email over the next day or so giving you the opportunity to replay today's session. Here at Asthma UK, we're a charity committed to trying to keep everyone with asthma safe and well, but we can only do this with your support. So if you find this webinar useful, please do consider making a donation of just £5 after the session to help us continue being there for everyone with asthma. Your support is so important as it will help us to continue providing vital services for people with asthma now and in the future. So without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to hand you over once again to Jo for today's webinar.
Hi everybody, I'm Jo and I'm a Pilates teacher and exercise specialist in chronic respiratory disease. I'm really happy to be here with you today. Now, I chose to specialise in exercise for respiratory conditions because I am one of you. I have bronchiectasis and I have asthma, and I know what it feels like to be breathless. And with that, we are often fearful of exercise, but it's important to keep exercising, not just for our physical well-being, but for our mental well-being too. Now, I have a beginner level Pilates-based sequence for us today, and we're going to look at some upper and lower limb strengthening exercises. If you do want to find out more, you can find me at www.totalprecisionpilates.com or across social media at Total Precision Pilates. I hope you enjoy this sequence, everybody. Now we're going to start leaning against a wall, and I've got 2 tins of soup here, but if you have a small set of weights, you could use some hand weights either. So we're going to lean against the wall. You want the feet about maybe 1.5 lengths of your own feet away from the wall, and you're going to rest the arms down by the sides of your thighs. Now we're using the wall for feedback, so you want to think of pressing the back of your pelvis and the back of your rib cage against the wall. Now your head may or may not be touching the wall, so don't try to force your head back, just let your head balance naturally on top of the spine. Now from here, everybody, we take a breath in to prepare, and you're going to think of breathing into the wall behind you, and as you exhale, we'll lift the weights or the cans, the tins, whatever you've got, up in front of your shoulders, and then we'll lower them back down again. We do the same again. We lift the arms up and we lower them back down. Now you want to keep nice and wide across the shoulders and try not to move the body as you lift and lower the weights. Let's do one more. Good, well done. Now from here we're going to lift the weights up in line with the shoulders, turn your palms to face up, and we're going to do some bicep curls. So again, keep the body pressed against the wall. We'll bend the elbows. Think of directing your elbows forwards as the weights come towards your face, and then direct the weights away by straightening the elbows. We then breathe out, bend the elbows, and then breathe in, lengthen the elbows. And we're still keeping the spine long and connected to the wall. Think of rooting your feet into the floor. So we're like a little tree. The feet are rooting down into the floor and we're lengthening out through the crown of the head. We'll do one more of these, bending those elbows, pressing them forwards and stretching the arms back out. From there, turn the palms down and bring the arms down by the sides of the body. From here, the challenge is going to get a little greater. We pick the arms up overhead and we circle them down and around. Now, if that's too much for you, if that makes you feel a little bit dizzy to have your arms over your head, we could just bring the arms up, take them out and down. Up, out and down. But if you're ready for a little bit more challenge, pick the arms up, keep the back ribs against the wall and circle around. Now, to help you keep the spine still, you can think a little bit of abdominal connection. So if you think of zipping up a pair of tight trousers, just using that slight abdominal connection will help you to keep your spine stable, which directs all this lovely movement into the joint that we want to work, rather than the disco spine and the disco pelvis moving. So we keep the body still and circle the arms. And once you've done a few, it starts to become quite challenging. Good. Well done, everybody. We're now going to come down onto the floor. Okay everyone, so now we've come down onto the floor carefully, we are going to come and lie on our back. So I'm using a head cushion today, but you could just use a small folded hand towel for a little bit of support behind your skull. So we're going to bring the legs and feet so the hip width apart and parallel, and you carefully roll your spine into the floor. Make sure the cushion or the towel is behind your skull and not interfering with your neck at all. We'll start with some single knee folds, so we will need some abdominal connection, so you can think of wearing a pair of tight trousers and we just find that little bit of a zip up through those trousers to support your pelvis and spine as you pick up one leg away from the floor and then place it back down. We'll do the same leg, picking it up as you breathe out, and we'll inhale to lower. So this exercise is mobilizing your hip joint, but it's also strengthening the muscles in the front of the thigh and at the front of the hip. And let's do the other leg. So now we're going to follow the left leg up and then lower it back down. So you're making sure the body doesn't move as you lift this leg. You're isolating the movement at your hip joint. And we'll do one more. Good. From here, we're going to go for a straight leg lift, which picks up the challenge a little bit. It's going to be more challenging for the top of the leg. So we'll straighten the leg along the floor. And from here, lift the leg and lower the leg. And we lift the leg, knee nice and straight, and we lower the leg. Now, if you find with the extra load, because of the length of the leg, is interfering with your spine, so you feel the ribs moving or your pelvis moving, come back to the first exercise, those knee folds, and keep the knee bent. But if you're ready for more challenge, we use the straight leg and we use more abdominal connection. You could lift the leg a little bit higher if you want to, but again, making sure this pelvis stays heavy. Let's do one more on this leg. Good. And then draw the leg back in towards you. We're now going to do the same with the left leg. So we slide the leg along the floor. You're going to breathe out to lift the leg, activating the abdominal connection and breathing in to lower. And breathing out, lifting the leg and breathing in to lower. Try to keep the shoulders as released as possible, so we're not holding on to any tension through the upper body. All the work is happening in the lower body. And we'll do one more. Good, well done, super work. So we'll bring this leg back in towards you. Make sure the feet are hip width apart and parallel. And we'll go into some spine curls, which is a nice mobilizing exercise for your spine, but it also strengthens your bottom. We take a breath in to prepare, and as you breathe out, you'll tip your hips towards you. So roll your lower back. Roll through those ribs, peeling through the spine. You're standing into your feet, so think of directing your knees over your heels. You make sure you have weight through your shoulder blades, not on your neck, and then we roll back down again, rolling through the back ribs, through the waist, and finally landing the bottom. Let's go again. We roll the pelvis, breathing out, peel that spine away from the floor. Think of opening the hip joints, and you'll feel that bottom activate as you push the hips up towards the ceiling, and then we roll back down again. Let's do a couple more. And breathing out to roll down, melting, melting, melting. And finally landing the pelvis, and we're on the last one, rolling the hips towards you. The lower back releases into the floor. We start to pick up the ribs, feel the heaviness through the shoulder blades, and rolling back down again. Good. When you land, make sure that pelvis is nice and heavy with no tension through the hips, because now we're going to come into some curl ups. So we take the head cushion away. This is going to strengthen your abdominals. You place your hands behind your head with your elbows in your peripheral vision. We take a breath in to prepare. When you're ready, you breathe out. There's a little nod of your chin. You start to lift your head, chest, shoulders, and upper spine away from the floor. Keep the pelvis heavy. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to peel the spine back into the floor. Breathing in here, breathe out, we nod. We lift up and over, curling the upper spine away from the floor. You're opening those back ribs, and then we peel back down again. Let's go again. So we nod and we lift up and over. And when you're at the top, you can really get that sensation of breathing into those back ribs. Breathing out to peel down. And we'll do one more. Breathe in, and then breathing out to peel back down again. Good, well done everybody. Let's come and lie on your side, and we're going to do another exercise to strengthen the bottom. We'll take our head support, whether that's a towel or a cushion, and you'll place it in between your arm and your head. Going to make sure your feet are in line with the back of the pelvis and your knees are bent. Your hips and your shoulders are stacked on top of one another, and we're going to look straight forward. You place your top hand in front of your rib cage for a little bit of support. And now we're going to rotate your top leg. We spiral the top leg out and we lower it back down again. You're going to exhale to wrap the leg. You can allow the toes to open, and then release the leg back down as you inhale. So if you need to, you could pop this hand on your top hip to make sure that this pelvis doesn't move. We're isolating the movement of your leg in your hip joint, and then lowering down. And we wrap. So really strengthening that hip joint, and reach your knee away. Think of pressing the knee joint away from you. You'll get a little bit of extra bottom connection, and then lowering down. We do 2 more on this side. And again, abdominal connection working just to stop the pelvis and spine reacting to the leg. And lowering back down. Well done. Let's turn over and do the other side. So we carefully spin around. Long underneath arm. Cushion in place. Make sure the feet are in line with the back of the pelvis. Looking straight forwards. And we are going to wrap the top leg as you exhale. And inhale to lower. You might find that one leg has a little bit more rotation than the other side. It doesn't matter. Just go with what you've got. Don't force it, because if you force it, we move the pelvis. So you're using your abdominal connection to stabilize the pelvis, and again, isolating the movement at your hip joint. Lovely. Let's do 2 more. Again, think of directing the knee away. It will help you to get a little bit more activation of the bottom. And again. and relax. Well done, everybody. We're going to come up to standing again now. Okay, everybody, so now we're back standing. We're going to do some squats to strengthen your legs and bottoms. So we'll stand with the legs and feet hip width apart and parallel. You can place your hands on your hips. We're going to go into a squat by bending your hips, knees and ankles. So we're sending your bottom back and your chest forwards. And then we're going to push into those heels to stand back up again to straighten the legs. So we're going to inhale to squat, and then exhale and zip that tummy to lift you up back into your standing position. Now, as you squat, direct your knees over the second toes. Make sure your knees aren't dropping in. And then we push into those heels to come back up. I'll face this way for you as well. So we're going to direct the pelvis back and the chest forwards, breathing in. And then breathe out to push those feet into the floor and lengthen the body. And again, breathing in. And then push into the floor and lengthen up. One more. Pressing down and breathe out to lift back up. Good. Well done, everybody. So now we're going to mobilize your spines in a sideways direction. Get some nice breath into these side ribs. You'll place your hand behind your head. And again, the feet are hip width, or they could be a little bit wider. And we're going to go ear, shoulder, rib cage in that sideways direction. Breathe into the outer ribs, and as you breathe out, restack the spine. We'll do the same. So we go over to the same side. Breathe in, and then breathe out, restack the spine from bottom to top. So we lead with the ear, then the shoulder, then the ribs, and then we lift from the waist and the shoulders, neck and head. Let's do one more. Ear, shoulder, rib cage, and restacking. Let's switch hands. So we bring the other hand behind the head, standing nice and tall. We go over ear, shoulder, rib cage, breathing into those outer ribs, and breathe out to restack. And again. Breathe into the outer ribs, enjoy that opening, and restack. And let's do one more. And peeling back up. Good. Well done, everybody. Relax your arm. Bring your feet back so they're in a definite hip width position, the feet directly under the pelvis. And we're going to do some rises. These are great for whole leg strengthening, also for balance and circulation. So we'll take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, we're rising up onto the balls of the feet. And inhale to lower. Rising up onto the balls of the feet. Think about those toes spreading so we have all the toes on the floor and they're all working equally, and lower the heels. Now we're going up as we rise, but I want you to think also of going up as you lower the heels. So it's not really about going down, and we're still lifting up, finding that length through the body. And again, lifting up, feeling nice and tall, beautiful balance, and then lowering down. Gorgeous. Well done, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the session.
Thank you so much, Jo, and thank you again for today's session. Remember to check out Jo's website, totalprecisionpilates.com, for more information about her online classes and for links to her Twitter and Instagram. To all of you at home who joined us today, thank you so much for watching. We really hope that you enjoyed Jo's session. If you'd like to repeat Jo's webinar, please remember to keep your eyes peeled for an email over the next day or so, which will give you a link to replay. And please remember, we'd love you to join our ever-growing online community of people who care about asthma. So if you want to make sure you don't miss out on the latest asthma news and advice or more expert webinars, please do follow Asthma UK on Facebook or Twitter, or sign up to receive our regular email updates. As always, these sessions are completely free to attend, and you can watch all the webinars we've ran so far at asthma.org.uk/webinars. However, if you have enjoyed the webinar today, and if you can, please do consider making a donation of just £5 to Asthma UK today. For every 6 people who attend the webinar and donate £5, collectively you could be helping to fund an hour of a specialist asthma nurse's time on the Asthma UK helpline. Your support will mean that our nurses can be there for you, your loved ones and everyone with asthma when they need the nurses the most. And remember, if you or a loved one needs support with your asthma, visit asthma.org.uk/helpline for details on how to contact one of the expert nurses on the helpline. On behalf of myself and everyone here at Asthma UK, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.